Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday evening. I know a lot of you guys have church tonight, or maybe baseball games, football games, whatever you got going on. Soccer, I don't know. But yeah, man, today was a good day, dude. We had a job interview today, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I could have said some things better. I was confident in what I was saying. I feel like I don't know how to articulate things very well. There's a lot of buzzwords you can use in these interviews. There's a lot of hype words you can utilize that I don't do. Like let's run these KPIs up the flagpole to ensure area dominance. I'm not gonna say that. Like that's I don't know what I'm saying if I talk like that, and I don't know if the listener understands what I'm saying. They probably do because they've been in it long enough. But I will say that it was a managerial position that I did an interview for, and it's rather interesting. It's a pretty big opportunity that God has left me. So, obviously, I'm not smoking a bowl today. I'm not smoking my pipe today, and just because I don't feel like it, and if I don't feel like it, I'm not going to do it. So, I think that I have done that plenty over the past 5 days or so. So I think we're good. But I did visit a smoke lounge yesterday, and that was phenomenal. That was a great experience. Lots of like a very good ambiance that was there, a really good environment. It really smelled of smoke. It smelled of cigar smoke and, pipe smoke and all that. And that was interesting. I haven't really been inside of a smoke lounge before. I knew it was going to smell like smoke. I just didn't know what to expect. And it was good. It was good. It wasn't bad at all. I enjoyed my cherry Cavendish blend. I don't have many blends. I'd like to try more blends. I just, because I have the Lane 1Q, and then I have my cherry Cavendish from Virginia Gold, and that's really good. And I think they're both aromatics, I believe. I'm okay with that. I would like to try something else, not an aromatic. But I also don't want to indulge too deep into nicotine or something strong with a lot of latakia. I think it's called latakia. I heard that's hard for new pipe smokers. So anyway, so today's topic is gonna be like why I'm choosing to smoke my pipe. And there's a lot of reasons, and I barely touched on my first video, but I feel like I really didn't get involved into it because I was trying to pack my first pipe. So, I'm going to look back at that video and be like, oh my gosh, how embarrassing. But the reason why is because I want to slow down. And I want to take my time and enjoy leisure. I want to enjoy a leisure activity that requires my hands to be busy, that requires time and time to contemplate, time to think. And I think that this is a very good thing. And I think that we've lost in these modern era, and in this modern time, we've lost what it means to be leisure. Not to be lazy or anything, but to be leisure, to to sit back and think. I was watching these videos of you like people filming a street in 1911, right? Like when video cameras were first coming out, like the streets of New York in 1910 or 1908 or 1912, and these were people's grandparents. These were people's great grandparents. These people had lives and dreams and aspirations and problems like we have today. And it really was not that long ago. It was only 110 years ago. And I find it absolutely fascinating that we have footage of this. And these people are living in the moment without cell phones, without technology. Well, there was some technology, nothing like it is today. No computers back then, but there was because of the Industrial Revolution, there was some technology, but nothing that was. There may have been a refrigerator, I think. I mean, that's kind of what there was. But the street view, people are riding on their horses, they're riding in carriages, they're riding on the Model Ts. I mean, it was really no paved roads. It was like dirt roads, and everyone was well dressed and well mannered. And granted, life was harder and hotter. There was no AC. But I feel like, and I think there's a level of a nostalgic wishing that we have for I think we look at the past through rose-tinted glasses, right? Where, it must have been so amazing. It must have been so awesome. It must have been so pure. And that's through the lens of what you don't understand. Because you don't know what it's like. They could look, if they had the opportunity to peer into the future, like we have the opportunity to peer into the past, and they saw us, how we live today, they would say, oh my gosh, they got air conditioning, they have lights, they have running water, they have, they had running water back then, but it wasn't probably as prevalent as it is today. They have, everyone has a car, and the cars have AC, and there's technology, and most people can work indoors nowadays, in the AC. There's food is readily available, I really want to go into the future. I want to see what it's like. And I think they would say that. I think they would admire that, but I also think that the older folks back in 1910, if they were to see how we're living today, they'd probably say, no, I'm okay. I'm good. I think they would say, I'm okay. I want to stay where I'm at. And I think that that's admirable. I mean, this is such a what if scenario, but I know it's kind of coming full circle, and why do I pipe smoke is because I think that it can connect me to the past in some sort of way. I think that it can connect me to slow down, be methodical, understand. Because, I find myself opening my mouth too much. I find myself talking too much and saying the wrong things. But I've never had the opportunity or really thought, let me go outside and think. It wasn't until I watched the Spurgeon Piper talk about this, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really don't sit out and think. I really don't do any of that. And I think that those who think are more intellectually inclined to want to have a better world around them. I think thinking before you speak is important. Now, I speak Spanish, and my wife speaks Spanish. And oftentimes, I have to think before I speak in Spanish because I have to formulate my sentence. That's why I'm thinking before I speak. And even when I still think before I speak in Spanish, I can still use that word. I can still use my words to cut her down, to cut anyone down in Spanish. And that's not right. It just goes to show that you don't need to know language to cut someone down. You can cut someone down regardless if you know their language or not. And I think that there's a lot of people out there who speak before they think, but you can also think before you speak and still cut people down. And I think that learning to slow down and observe the environment that you're in, that is what is so that means a lot more. That's more impactful. To know thy enemy is to know thyself. However, you are your own enemy. So what are you going to do to understand yourself? What measures are you going to take to better yourself? And I keep seeing all these stupid improvement programs and this red pill and mentality and all this. Well, to be a man is to love and to care and to empathize and to protect. That is my vision. That's my version. It's not to be some gung-ho, gym bro, alpha male salesman, that you've seen those videos. God, no, he's taking your money. He just wants your money. No. A man is someone who owns up to his own understanding. He owns up to his own faults. He is self-aware, and he takes care of those who is under his wing. That is a man. That is a man. That is what it means to be a man. So, let me know why you guys pipe smoke. I'm curious, and like I said before, there's not a lot of guys my age who pipe smoke. So I'm curious to know, why do you indulge in this hobby? What brings you around to it? What orbit? What is in your orbit? What was the gravitational pull for you? That's what I want to know. And yeah, like I said, no pipe today. So anyway, I just want to come out here and kind of ramble on for 15 minutes. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and God bless.